Welcome to this presentation of CerecDoctors.com on the Vita Easy Shade. This is the latest shade-taking device from Vita and is probably the most popular and most accurate shade-taking device that's on the market today. Now, getting the proper shade is absolutely critical when we're doing dentistry. As we're restoring this central incisor, not only do we have to get the contours correct, but we also need to make sure that we take the proper shade. When you take a proper shade, it becomes very difficult to determine what is a natural tooth and what is a restored tooth. In this example, it's difficult to tell, but tooth number 8 is the restored tooth, and that shade was taken by simply placing the Vita Easy shade on tooth number 9, determining the shade, and getting the appropriate block. Getting the appropriate shade can make the difference between a good case and a great case. Here's another example. The Vita Easy shade was used. The Easy Shade said use 1M2C block, and from there, tooth number 9 was restored with a Vita Real Life 1M2C block. The shade is an absolute perfect match of the adjacent tooth. The nicest thing about the Easy Shade is its ease of use. All you do after calibrating is simply place it on the tooth, press a button, and the measurement is taken. The new Easy Shade has a very intuitive user interface. There's a large computer screen on the back, and it makes it very easy to determine exactly what you're doing. And really there's 3 main features. We can take the measurement of the tooth shade. We can actually measure ceramic restorations to make sure the shade is accurate. And there's also a control panel. In this video, we're going to concentrate on simply taking shades on the teeth of our patients. The first thing that we need to do is we need to apply an infection control shield to the tip of the Easy Shade. This keeps cross-contamination to a minimum, if at all. Once we go ahead and place the infection control shield, make sure that you snap it into place. You don't want to just place it, this should snap into place. As you'll see from the video, we grab the Easy Shade, we place the infection control shield, and then snap it so that we have an accurate reading. Once we're done with that, we need to calibrate the Easy Shade prior to every single use. This again is very simple. Simply place it in the cradle, push the button, and the Easy Shade calibrates itself to a standard and white balances itself. Now it's very important to do this with the infection control shield in place. Don't have it off, otherwise you're not going to get accurate measurements. So once we've been calibrated, now we have tooth measurement options. We can measure the basic shade of the tooth. We can take an average shade measurement from multiple different areas of the tooth. Or we can take different areas, for example, the cervical, the facial, as well as the incisal. Simply press the keypad, select which measurement you're going to take, and now the Easy Shade after calibration is ready to go. It's very important that you press the Easy Shade directly on the tooth, make sure it's flush, and after you do that, you're going to measure the center of the tooth. Avoid going too far to the cervical or too far to the incisal unless you're taking average shade measurements, because you're not going to get an accurate shade reading. And most importantly, you have to actually put the tip directly on the tooth surface. If you don't put it directly on the tooth surface, you're not going to get a shade reading from the software and the device at all. This needs to be flush on the tooth surface, and you press the button. So to summarize, we simply calibrate, we select our tooth measurement, we take it to the patient, we hold the Easy Shade flush on the patient's tooth, you press the button, and once you press the button, the lights blink, there's a little beep in the Easy Shade, and it gives you the shade measurement. This is a very simple device to use. It has become a routine use of our armamentarium, and it gives you a very close approximation to the closest matching, either the Vita 3D Master or the classical shade. Now with the Easy Shade, you can also verify any restorations you may have received from the laboratory. Are they the proper shade? You can measure the shade of any ceramic. So it helps to not only measure teeth, but also verify that the restorations that you're milling are the appropriate shade. So the Vita Easy Shade, as I mentioned, has become a very routine part of our practice. We use it on every single patient. It's very easy to use. gives accurate shade measurements, and takes the guesswork out of what block do I want to use. For CEREC users, this comes in very handy to not only select the shade, but it also tell you what block to use. If you're using an actual Vita block, it'll translate and tell you what block you want to select. If you're going to use some other material, you can simply just translate that information and select the appropriate block. There's a full PDF in the download section of CERECDoctors.com. Thank you for your time. I hope you enjoyed the video.